Berserk was the very first anime that made me go and read manga, and it has forever been my absolute favorite manga for all these years, and I've read a lot of series. So when the newest chapter just came out, chapter 364, which is said to be the very last chapter of the whole series in the wake of Kentaro Miura's death, that it made me want to go and talk about it a bit more, because I really love this series. And despite the fact that I might not be following the series constantly as closely as other people, or I may not have like a full collection of things from it, or I may not, be so enveloped in the whole Berserk story and its characters. The fact that it has left such an imprint on what I enjoy from media, what I remember from the series, the way it has influenced me going forward, it really shows how important of a series this is. And I'm hoping that by making this video, you guys can maybe take some time to look over the series, check it out for yourself. There's a lot of great content, but I want to take this time to talk about the points that really firmly for me believe that this is going to be the greatest dark fantasy manga period. And I know for a lot of people that is the case, and they might even go and might say that it is the best manga that they have read, period. It is my favorite manga, and I would agree for a lot of those points. And I'm hoping that by chatting with you today, that you can go and have a look over it and really take the time to appreciate this piece of work, because it has influenced so many other pieces of media. Now, the influence of Berserk on other media is unrivaled. If there is any sort of dark, twisted, like sacrificial aspect to, say, a story, there is some influence from Berserk, and the people that create those series will directly say that Kentaro Miura's Berserk is a direct influence for everything. The biggest example for this is in Avengers Infinity War, when Thanos receives the Soul Stone. The entire scene that it is based in, from the eclipse, which is the most primary aspect of that, which is referenced to Berserk, but even Thanos being in the water, lifting his hand up, holding the Soul Stone in his hand, is a direct reference to Berserk with Griffith. Something that mainstream directly referencing Berserk. It really is cool being a Berserk fan to go and see that showcase there, and in many other series. It really just shows how influential Berserk was and still is for many series. Now, the artwork for Berserk is unrivaled. I would go ahead and say that it is the greatest manga art I've ever seen. And I would really like to go and see you in the comments try to give examples that rival that. And there's going to be very few. And especially in horror, dark fantasy, this type of theme, that it takes the cake. It is the absolutely best looking art style. And Kentaro Miura puts so much effort into each panel, and it really shows. Like every single double page spread that this man has worked on, you would want to have blown up on your wall. It looks gorgeous. It is horrific. It is terrifying. The emotions that his artwork conveys, and like the anger, which is a big part of the series with Guts and Griffith and their rivalry, having that conveyed with the way he draws those characters, it really shines. The rivalry between Guts and Griffith is up there as the greatest rivalries in manga history, or even in any sort of media, period. If you were to ask people that question of what's the best rivalry in any sort of manga period, Guts and Griffith would be up there in anyone's top 10s, and would be up there for many people's number ones, because it is just so well developed, it's so well written. The way it progresses from the Golden Age arc onwards is just astounding, and that is a testament to the characters that Kentaro Miura has shaped over the course of all those volumes, where you have Guts being accepted into the band of the Hawk, and you have Griffith who wants his dream, and those two clashing, having someone who can stand up to Griffith, and he detesting that, and then ultimately going into the eclipse at the very end of the Golden Age arc, what that entails, and then moving onwards where Guts is constantly trying to go and chase after Griffith and just picking up the pieces of what he caused. Because the eclipse is up there as one of the most tragic manga, anime, pieces of just story, period. There is never going to be a part of a story like The Eclipse that is ever going to imprint such a visceral emotional reaction as that did. The anime did such a great job, and the cliffhanger that it left imprinted on me so much that I had to go out of my way to read manga where I've never read that before, because I needed to see where this goes next because of what happened. It was just so crazy. If you've never experienced that, if you've never seen it, you need to go and just watch the old 90s anime. It is fantastic. It is so well developed. The pacing is great. Of course, it's 90s anime, so you're going to get the same sort of art styles, action sequences. They're not the same as what they are right now, but there is some charm and some beauty with it too. The music is astounding, absolutely amazing music. And having the very pinnacle, the very end of that series be The Eclipse, it's just unreal. And to know that there is so much more after the fact, and even knowing the fact that now the series has ultimately ended the way that it has, it's still needed to be able to experience everything that happens afterwards because it's such great reading. There's a lot to go and take out of this series, and it honestly needs to be gone and seen by everybody, in my opinion. I think the Berserker armor alone is worth the price of admission because those scenes are some of the best action scenes, best well-drawn scenes I have read. The artwork just conveying the emotions and just the ferocity and the unhingedness and just the animalistic nature of Guts in the Berserker armor is so well drawn. It's so well conveyed. It needs to go and be read. And also having all of that build up throughout the series leading to that is amazing. Now for me and for a lot of people, Griffith is single-handedly the best developed villain in media, period. In manga, absolutely, period. I'd like to go and see you ask multiple people who's the best villain in manga or anime, and Griffith will be up there in everybody's top 10s and for a lot of people's number ones. Having his story unfold and seeing what he ultimately wants and seeing how he clashes with Guts and what he eventually does in The Eclipse. So for Berserk, there are a number of great adaptations that I recommend seeing. You have, of course, the manga, which is absolutely fantastic. Amazing art throughout. It is absolutely incredible. Start to finish, character arcs, story arcs, amazing. You can go and read that, no problem. The old 90s anime is a great time to go and watch as well. If you want to dive into the series, you can try that first to go and dip your toes. If you are more accustomed to watching anime, it's a great thing to go and watch. And the cliffhanger is the biggest cliffhanger you will ever experience. And that way it might want you to go and jump into the manga much like how I did. And also the trilogy of films are great as well if you want to go and see a bit more of that Golden Age arc fleshed out with some newer animation. It was a great time for me to go and watch. I was so excited when those came out, and I think they did a fantastic job because they go a bit further than what the anime left off, which can go and tie up a lot of loose ends for a lot of people. And it's also awesome to go and see those parts of the manga that weren't shown in the anime being shown animated in these feature films. Now, this series absolutely is mature. It does not hold back on the violence, on the dark themes at all, which I really appreciate, and it's something you don't see with a lot of series. And that mixed with Kentaro Miura's art, showcasing those horrific themes, those creatures, everything, the situations, it just makes for a really thrilling, scary, and really entertaining read. So what are your thoughts on Berserk? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to go and like and subscribe. I'm going to be making weekly videos discussing different series much like this one, so you can go and look forward to those. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Take care, and I'll see you all on the next one.